We're going to talk about insurance, risk, and liability. My name is Flint Holbrook, founder and president of TruckSpy. We're a full suite telematics provider. Guys, insurance, risk, and liability is like a really big deal in trucking right now. We've got all these nuclear settlements going on, so you get in an accident, you get sued for $10 million. There was one a few months ago in Dallas that settled for $120 million. This is business crippling kind of magnitude lawsuits, right? And so let's talk just a few minutes about, first, how do we minimize our risk and our liability? And then second, what are some strategies that we can employ to get the most out of our insurance? So first thing, risk. Take a link, there's a link in our the footer right here about safety programs. If you don't have a safety program, you really need a safety program if you're gonna manage your risk. It's extremely important that you have a well-written policy around what's okay and what's not okay at our company, and that needs to be enforced. So you need to take steps to minimize your risk and hopefully make your drivers safer drivers, right? Like, let's just not get in accidents. That's kind of the best preventative measure. So, a challenge, you take steps to significantly reduce your risk and your liability. Think about it, make it part of your business culture. There's a lot you can do. We've got a lot of videos on risk and safety and drive cameras and ELDs and all this stuff. You need to be using all those tools to reduce your risk. So accidents happen. I mean, everybody knows that. When they do happen, it's really important that you manage them correctly. So you need to get photos. If you got drive cameras and you get that footage, you need to kind of do like your own internal accident reconstruction. There's a really good chance if somebody's injured or just involved that there's going to be a lawsuit. We've got attorneys that make entire livings off of suing trucking companies in this world. So it's really important that you kind of get your ducks in a row. And there are many safety consultants and lawyers that can help you through that process if you don't know what to do when an accident happens. So the next thing is, let's talk about your insurance. So we're going to do the things to minimize our risk, and we're going to handle our accidents correctly. But like at the end of the day, the insurance company is largely our backstop against these tail risks that come with accidents. So you need to spend some time and get to know your insurance company. A lot of trucking companies just go out and get like 3 quotes and just buy the cheapest one and move on with their day. It's actually becoming quite hard to get insured if you have a history of accidents and risky things going on in your fleet. So that's happening a lot. Just last year, insurance premiums shot up, at least in the state of Texas, about 20% across the board for carriers. And so that's, look, you're talking about a lot of money. You can't always pass it on to your customer. And so again, managing that risk and liability is huge to not seeing your insurance premiums shoot up. So when you go to shop for insurance, let's look for a couple of things. First of all, find an insurance company that provides like some safety benefits to your company. You'd be surprised how many companies have people that will come help train your drivers. They'll help you put together a safety program. They will provide you training videos. They will actually do a lot of stuff to help your fleet. All right, so insurance is priced per risk, right? So a lot of times your insurance agent's gonna say, hey, I'm gonna need your loss runs for the last 3 years. They're using that to price the insurance. So the insurance company is assessing how risky is this fleet? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna charge you a premium, you're gonna have a deductible, you're gonna have a ceiling of coverage, and the insurance company is kind of responsible for what happens in between. So they want to make sure that your losses during the period of insurance don't exceed what you're paying them in deductibles, right? This is really important to understand. So minimizing your losses on your loss run is like critically important to pricing your insurance. A few other levers you have when you go to price insurance. Increasing your deductible is a really big lever because it's effectively self-insuring some amount of risk. So, a lot of just off-the-shelf trucking insurance for small companies is going to say, all right, you got a $5,000 deductible or a $1,000 deductible. That's okay. You're gonna pay that though in premium. So just keep that in mind. Like, it sounds great. Okay, they're going to cover anything over $1,000. You're going to pay that in your monthly premium. They're going to charge you for that risk. So the more risk that your company can absorb financially, you're going to find that your total cost of insurance decreases with the amount of risk that you're willing to backstop. So we've got customers that self-insure their physical damage. So if they wreck a truck, they're going to have to cover it, right? And they have no insurance for physical damage. And maybe they've got a $200,000 deductible on liability, and then the insurance covers the next $2 million. This is just kind of a rough example. You're going to have to be in business a while, and you're going to have a balance sheet in order to underwrite that kind of risk. And the insurance company is going to make sure that you do, right? They're going to make sure that you're actually capable of handling that risk before they'll write the policy. But I just want to remind you, a lot of people, especially if you've got 50 plus trucks, they don't realize how much flexibility they actually have in negotiating and building an insurance policy that works for them and their risk profile. So keep that in mind. Ask your insurance agent. If your insurance agent doesn't understand or doesn't want to dig in and figure out what your options really are, good chance you might need a different insurance agent. This is just a couple of tips on risk, insurance, and liability. The takeaways here: minimize your losses, minimize your risk and your liability. That's most important. Don't get in accidents. Number two, you've got a lot of levers when it comes to insurance. Insurance is priced off of your risk. So minimizing your risk is the biggest lever. The second lever is how much risk can you actually absorb on your balance sheet before the insurance company's involved. So this has just been a few quick tips on insurance and risk.